Hey dude, so I figured I'd take this video for you. It'll be a little easier to explain it instead of typing it out, because I hate typing. So here we have our Deepmind, right? And you have your mod matrix, obviously you know this. So basically the VCA is the voltage controlled amp, at least the way I like to think of it, which is basically where all of your volume is generated, if that makes sense in like layman's terms. So if you hit edit here on the VCA, you'll see you have a couple controls, and the biggest thing for me is this pan spread. And what this means is each one of your voices, alright, is an individual VCA. At least that's the way it seems like it's set up digitally inside of this thing. Because the only thing that's analog are the actual oscillator outputs in this thing. It's mainly kind of digital on the synthesizer, but it sounds phenomenal. So when you have your pan spread, sorry this is like getting out of focus and shit, my bad. When you have your pan spread set to like 255, every time you hit one of these different voices, so here, let me find something that's like a little bit more dry signal. So if I set this VCA pan to 255, or 127 it looks like it maxes out at, you can actually set a negative value to it. So what that'll do is, based on which voice you actually hit, it'll actually pan. I have this kind of ghetto setup, but it'll actually pan between the right and left. So when you go to mod matrix and you assign, let's say, note velocity, or we'll just do LFO 1, we'll do 127, and then we'll do, let's see here, ECF, sustain, there we go, VCA. So VCA all, it'll actually, so that's all of the voices, and it'll track those voices individually. So, and then of course LFO1, you know, we can speed it up. And then if you play through those voices, you'll only get the C that I'm playing for VCA all. So that's actually kind of a cool effect. VCA active, I'm not really sure what that is. Oh, okay, so that basically, that actually just kind of puts a warble on whatever you're playing. Envelope depth, pan spread, VCA pan. So now, you can't really hear it over the microphone because this is not a stereo mic, but I'm playing this chord and it's actually panning the sound like this based on the LFO. So if, for example, and I've done this with like the electric piano sounds on this, it's really cool, is if you, and you can do the same thing with like the tremolo effect that's built into the effects, is you can assign LFO1 to VCA pan or the tremolo on the effect if you have that on, and then you can assign the LFO rate to the note velocity. So it would be note velocity, whatever the value is, and then LFO1. And it makes it super expressive, because like, especially with like an EP sound, you know, if you play really hard, it's like really like da-da-da-da-da-da, and you can set it so it's not ridiculously fast, but it just makes it like really expressive. So yeah, so that's what VCA pan is. That's what it is. And also, just like a little tip, this VCA mode, you can either set it to ballsy or transparent. If you're using, and this is my only, you know, issue with the Deepmind 12, is it tends to clip inside of the actual amp before it hits your speakers. If you have like, let's say you're playing like unison 12. So I'm on unison 2 now. So unison 12 usually never really sounds good to me, at least. even for solo tones, but I find that like if you have like all of your oscillators on and like a certain amount of frequency turned up here on the VCA, you'll get clipping. And to fix that, I find that if you turn this from ballsy to transparent, you don't get that clipping anymore. So there's a little fun fact for you if that ever helps you and you're trying to pull your hair out because you're getting clipping through like your amp. But hopefully that helps, man. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for watching.